welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beanstalk.
You bet. There's a tremendous energy in the gym. We're thick into the fall, and it's great to be here.
It doesn't feel like it, though. It's like 90 degrees outside.
Correct.
Which is some bull honky, sir.
Trying to speak it into existence because totally agree. We need more of the true fall weather and less of this. Is this what they call an Indian summer? Is that what this is?
What's an Indian summer?
Exactly.
I've never even heard of that
like
term.
A secondary summer. You've never heard that term?
No.
Really? I'm either using it exactly correctly or 100% wrong. So
I believe that as well.
Chance. Yeah, 50-50 chance. But listen, we're glad to be here. We're pumped to be with you all, and we are excited to get through a myriad of topics on this fine day. Hey, football is back. That's really great. We love having football.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I think you and I have talked, and we agree that the more that we can create a healthy separation between our own emotional well-beings and the teams that we have chosen to follow, for better or for worse, the better, right? Like, we are actually envious of those that go, I follow the sport and I don't have a team. Where do we live? Where do we live?
I look at it through a lens right now where I'm like, you know what? Maybe we like the teams that we like because it keeps us humble. Because if they were good, maybe we would just be obnoxious.
Interesting. I don't want to be humble, though. I'd rather, have my team be really successful.
Hey, same.
That's why we need this.
I would love to stuff it down Stephen A. Smith's throat, but we can't do that because we're cursed. And the point is, yes, it keeps us humble. Yeah. You have to look at it in a positive light.
Mm-hmm. This is always one of my favorite times of year. We get into football season. Baseball gets into its most meaningful portion of the calendar. We're not quite there, a couple weeks away, but this time, 2 weeks from now, maybe we'll got a stew going. We're going to be cooking. It's great. So super pumped. Well, among the topics, really quick production note, we are going to wait until our next pod to recap Peacemaker season 1.
He lied, not me.
It's true. Straight up on camera. Lied. And it won't be the last time. So just a friendly heads up. And then 2 pods from now, we will recap Peacemaker Season 2, because as the calendar lies, Peacemaker Season 2 will have wrapped just before we record that episode. So looking forward to diving into John Cena's finest cinematic work ever.
There was some thinking behind it.
There was some intentionality there. So patience, we're told, brings good things to those who wait. We've never believed it, but we're going to try it.
I'm terrible at waiting.
Exactly. No,
I've been waiting for a while for lots of things.
Yeah. And you kind of have to keep waiting.
And you just go crazy in the brain.
Yep.
It's great.
I think it's great too. But for today's pod, we're going to talk about Superman 2 updates. We're going to highlight a movie from the summer that we don't want you to forget. Batman 2, there's actual news, actual updates, actual, dare we say, progress. Heavens, isn't that
progress
refreshing? So it's going to be great to dialogue around those various updates. Penguin Season 2 gained a few flowers here as the Emmy Awards were just last night. And Kristen Milioti, spoiler alerts, came home with some hardware. So
as
good for
she
Kristen.
Should.
As she should. There is no doubt. In addition, we have some actual updates, a little bit on the lighter side, but updates nonetheless that are encouraging for Avengers Doomsday. And then, of course, we will hit another classic JP and the Beans top 5. So, without further ado, any more extra points or 2-point conversions or pushes, let's get into it.
You finished that horribly.
Finished it super well.
Push.
Yep.
Get the heck out of here.
Just push ourselves right into Superman Goose, which apparently is to be titled Man of Tomorrow, which, may I just say right up front, I hate that title.
Really? You don't like it?
I like it even a little bit. Is it actually going to impact whether or not I see the movie? Of course not. But no, I don't like the title at all.
Is it because it's too close to Man of Steel and it makes you tear up a little bit?
Man of Steel will always hold a cherished place in my heart. Man of Tomorrow, I've just never associated that phrase with Superman. Maybe this movie will do it for me. I'm also confused at James Gunn's continuous shifting of the goalposts, where he's like, listen, we don't like semicolon titles. And then he's like, but we're going to do it, except we're just taking the Superman out. We're just going to call it Man of Tomorrow. That's his workaround. It's like, homie, just use the semicolon or don't. But what a weird hill to choose to die on and then not die, and then you move the hill and you shift the flag.
I
It's
love
like
it.
it's
Chaos.
so random. It is chaos. But what matters most, other than my own weird choice to die on my weird hill, is that James Gunn continues to be, I think, the most forthright filmmaker that I have ever experienced, right? Like, he is one of one in terms of his willingness to share well in advance what he's thinking and what he's doing. In this case, Dear Sweet James has said that this movie is as much of a Lex Luthor movie as a Superman movie. And in fact, Superman and Lex will be teaming up to fight a much bigger threat.
Brainiac.
Gotta be.
Brainiac.
Right? So let the imaginations run wild. We are aligned. We're pretty confident it's going to be the big B, Brainiac himself. He seems formidable enough. But just to play devil's advocate, Beans, if it's not Brainiac, who else could it be? Who else would fit the bill of Lex and Soup's human up?
Well, to me, why I say Brainiac is because it's a mixture of the brain and the brawn coming together to take out the brain and brawn in Brainiac. Outside of that, I think it still has to be an alien. Maybe we get a Mongol here.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
Yep. Mongol's possible. More physically formidable than anything else, of course.
Maybe, I know this is an alien, but maybe Parasite in the sense of finding a way to shut him down.
Yeah. We still don't think, I mean, it's possible, but we still don't think Doomsday is going to be a part of this.
No, and I'm terrified to say this out loud, but Zod does make sense here.
Sure. Yeah.
Because if you're going to ask Lex to help with a Kryptonian, I think he's going to jump on board really quickly. So maybe, maybe it's not Zod. Maybe it's a different evil Kryptonian.
Yeah, but in the Last Son of Krypton comic storyline, Lex and Superman do team up to battle Zod, so it would not be without precedent.
Could it be, plot twist, Bradley Cooper as Jor-El?
Dude. Wow.
That's a plot twist.
Superman's just on the ground weeping the whole time because he can't fight his father. And Lex is like, fine, I'll take it.
Well, yeah, because that would be proving Lex's point. He's like, this is the bad guy. I can actually
Nepotism is bad.
Justify killing that guy. So, just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice creative twist.
May not be terrible.
Yep. Feels way, way too early.
Agreed.
For Darkseid, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, agreed.
But I appreciate the preemptive agreement.
I jumped the gun. But
no, you didn't. You should trust me always.
Darkseid needs to be like
That's a Justice League. Yes, that's a Justice League opponent, not a Superman and Lex. I will. Yeah, I'll be genuinely amazed if Brainiac is not the villain. It's got to be something terrestrial or extraterrestrial rather. Just really doesn't seem like there's any way that it's an Earth-bound or based villain. I think of like the Legion of Doom. Maybe a Sinestro, like maybe a Yellow Lantern Corps, because the Lantern show will have come out. That I'm, again, just playing spitballing here about, hey, what could be?
Maybe Bizarro.
Sure, Bizarro
goes on the loose, because then that's Lex's own.
Yeah. But I think the most logical choice, without question, is Brainiac with his capabilities.
Makes much too much sense.
Yep. Totally agree. Here's a really important question, though. Okay, because eventually that question is going to get answered well in advance of the movie. How do you feel? What's your initial response to this concept of Superman and Lex are teaming up as a follow up to our initial Superman movie? What's your vibe there?
I'm good with it. That's fine with me. They always have had like it's going to be a funny buddy cop dynamic, but at the end of it will just end. Sometimes you have those iterations. I think of Smallville. I haven't seen Smallville, but I know in that show, they pretty much made him and Lex best friends going up until they have their inevitable split to where they want to kill each other. So, I don't know. Maybe this is good for both of them to kind of see that there's more to it than just that, but then Lex gets other reasons to want to kill him, So, yeah, you also look at, there was a time Lex was trying to take the mantle of Superman entirely. We're rocking the Superman suit. So it's just Lex has a weird dynamic.
Yeah. One of Lex's favorite pivots in the comics is when he cannot directly destroy Superman by just straight up, oh, I killed you. He indirectly takes the indirect approach of, I'm just going to be better than you at what you're doing. I'm going to save the world better than you could ever save the world. And he tries to accomplish that and gain public favor, but he's obviously an enormous narcissist. And so it never quite works out the way that he thinks it should, because like any narcissist, he insists that you give him the praise, right? He's not, speaking of not being good at waiting, he's terrible at waiting for someone to give him the credit. He's like, I'll take it now. And it's in advance. It's like, Lex, just wait a beat. Like, you've almost won. You've actually almost done it, but just hang on. Like, no, give it to me now. Everybody, can you see? I am better than Superman. You're welcome. And they're like, but we haven't won yet, Lex. And also, now you're ruining it.
Can't you just see them together being like, Lex is like, I'm going to beat him before you do.
Yeah.
And Superman's like, that's not the whole point.
Yeah. So, friend of the pod, Saul, had I thought, a valid take where he said, hey, let's take a movie off from Lex so that we can develop other characters within that world. And I think that's valid. And I think if that was the path that James Gunn was choosing to go, I would have zero qualms with it. However, since James Gunn is going the opposite direction of what Saul is proposing and saying, hey, no, we're leaning into the Supes and the Lex, I understand why Nicholas Hoult was great as Lex Luthor. And I think easily the strongest portrayal of Lex Luthor since Gene Hackman during the original Superman film, I think it was 1979, forget the exact date. Like Kevin Spacey was fine in Superman Returns, but Nicholas Hoult was very solid. So I totally understand hey, let's lean into your strengths. And we're in a season for the DCU where productivity matters. On the one hand, as we've discussed, do not overdo it, right? Don't pump out 4 movies a year. But with the momentum that has been gained, the greatest enemy of momentum is time. The longer you wait, the more momentum wanes. And so James Gunn is going, listen, we got a good thing going with David Corden-Sweat as Superman and Clark Kent. We've got a great thing going with Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Let's keep pushing that ball together. So I totally understand. And thinking back on the Superman movie, there wasn't a lot of shared screen time with Lex and with Superman, a lot of separate screen time. So we're getting 2 characters that we've already seen a good chunk of, but to put them in the same space together for a not insignificant period of time, it's going to be a great way to challenge Superman's character, right? Because Lex Luthor tried very deliberately to kill him and killed people that mattered to Superman. So, okay, how much are you willing to forgive, big guy? Because Lex has earned your wrath, right? So can you withhold that? Can you grow as a character? And for Lex Luthor, it's like, so what really matters, right? Are you actually in it for the good of Earth, as you say, or are you just in it for yourself? Because if that's the case, we're just going to lock you up. So it's also going to challenge Lex in a certain capacity. So already the premise is rich with character development opportunities. Now the key is give them a common villain that is formidable enough to be worth their combined efforts and energies.
Yeah, and I think Soul's biggest concern too was that Lex would be the main villain again.
Yes.
And hearing them team up together,
exactly.
that's like, okay, that takes Lex off as the villain.
Exactly.
Yes, he's still not a great guy.
Yes. Good distinction. Very important distinction.
However, you know that the backstab is going to happen at some point. Now, whether it happens after the movie and he like steals a little bit of Brainiac tech, or he does it right before and does something else with Brainiac when he switches sides.
With Brainiac the whole time.
Also possible.
Yeah.
But I also think you need an out for Lex to get out of prison and back into the world to do shenanigans that like he likes to do. Because it's hard to do shenanigans when you have nothing in prison.
This would be such a fun space for Batman in this world to emerge. And just when Lex thinks, I got him, backstabbed him. Batman shows up. Nope. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Just
I did on you.
That's right, from the top rope.
You, the backstab can add 3 moves before you did.
I mean, Lex in the comics is just the worst teammate ever because he's very effective. And so there is a legitimate part of you that goes, man, we want this guy's talented. We want this guy on the squad. Like, he's really helpful. But then he's so selfish with everything that he does. And he's always not looking out for the good of the team, even though he's telling you, no, I'm a good teammate. I am. I want to be part of the team, guys. I can do it. Trust me. He's never trustworthy. Or to anybody, heroes and villains that he partners with, he backstabs them all because he's always out for number one. Always. Every time. Without fail. So he is a phenomenally excellent choice for a team up because in a movie or in a comic, he's going to provide drama just by being there. Yeah. Perfect choice.
I will be curious to see, too, who the supporting cast is, because I think with Brainiac being the powerhouse that he is, you're going to need a couple more. And I'm sorry, I don't think the Justice Buddies are going to be able to get this one done. I think this is going to take Supergirl as well. So I'll be very curious to see if who Superman has for backup.
Yeah. It's a great question. Like, what will the scope of this movie be? Because obviously the first Superman movie was very, I'm going to say, constrained in its scope. Like, it wasn't small, but it didn't exceed its boundaries. Like, it knew what it needed to stay within. And I think it's going to be really hard for this second movie to stay within boundaries. It's called it right now. It's going to be longer. It's going to have more cast members. And
good.
For as much as we are going to get Superman and Lex as the primary reason for why this story exists, I think we're going to see even more screen time for supporting characters than what we had in the first Superman movie. And I'm not disappointed in that, by the way.
Yeah, but also Lois is not going to be able to dismantle Brainiac with an article.
That card has been played. Jimmy and Lois, you done good. And we're going to need you on the sidelines.
Brainiac wears socks to bed. No! Defeated. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher to have such a formidable contribution. But to be determined, obviously, plenty of time between now and somehow this movie is coming out in 2027.
Love it.
Which is...
We're spoiled.
Wild. We are super spoiled. And between now and then, we'll have seen the Supergirl movie. We'll have seen Lanterns. Is the Clayface movie coming out before this one?
I think so.
I think so. What in the world? Wow. Buckle up. That's going to be fun. Okay, let's stay on the sequel front. Another movie that came out recent. Okay, checking my notes. Looks like 2022. So it's been a few years.
That was right when I came to this town.
Yes.
Then no, it was before.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Even pre-Beans. Holy smokes. Batman 2, as it turns out.
Thank God.
I'll be a horse's patoot. Thank goodness. We finally have the script, which we've touched on a previous pod, but maybe what matters most is we have old Bob Pattinson saying, thumbs up, let's do it.
Yeah, they say he read the script, called, and just smiled in the FaceTime camera. And that's when Matt Reeves knew. He nailed it.
Got him.
Matt knew. So.
Can you imagine if Bob Pattinson calls him and goes, what is this?
That'd be amazing.
It's like, I've waited 3 years for this. Are you kidding, man? Are you kidding? No,
yes.
Fortunately, from all indications, Mr. Pattinson is excited.
And we are being told that there are new things that are happening that we haven't seen happen before. Something along that lines. That's not that. That's the me version of that quote. You're going to pull up the actual quote.
I will. Let's go to the tape here for our dear sweet Matt Reeves. Okay. All right. This is directly quoted from Matt Reeves. You want to keep the surprise so the fans can have the fun experience that I always love going to the movies, which was to go and be surprised. He is Batman, meaning Robert Pattinson. So if Robert Pattinson, doesn't like it, not good. That's true. That's me interjecting there. That's very true. So, back to the quote, I was super excited because I thought that he really would like it because the things that it does for his character, for Batman and for Bruce, has never been done before in this way. Now, end of the quote. Okay. I have to not die on this hill because it's like, it's just not possible. Like everything that has been done from a storytelling perspective has been done before. So we're not like really seeking new officially territory. So I'm trying not to get too literal here. I'm going to give Matt Reeves the benefit of the doubt. He is a gifted storyteller, and what he did with his Batman movie was tremendous in terms of exploring the character of Batman and, of course, Bruce Wayne simultaneously. I have not the foggiest clue what he means or is inferring when he's saying, oh, this is something that has never been done before in this way. I don't know. And it's okay. I don't need to know. All I am eager for is to see what the next chapter of this particular story holds, because there was tremendous development for that character from start to finish of that first Batman movie. So how do you pick up from where you left off at that point? I'm very curious, like chronologically as well, where Matt wants to pick up the story, because the Penguin show, and again, we'll get into the Penguin a little bit later, obviously picked up right at the end of the Batman. And so are we just weeks out from that movie? Are we going to do a time jump of sorts? Don't know. Curious, but encouraging. The biggest takeaway for me out of all this is, hey, Matt Reeves is alive. He's talking about the movie, which is a really healthy sign. Bob's ready to go. They're going to start shooting. That was the other piece of news of note here in this spring of 2026. So cameras are going to start rolling. It's time.
We're going to get Batman and Superman in the year 2027.
Wild.
It's insane, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. That'd be like getting Spider-Man and an Iron Man movie in the same one.
Yep. For all intents and purposes, what we've been told and continue to be told is that this version of Batman will live in that Elseworlds pocket of the DC cinematic universe. Listen, there's 2 years, a year and a half between now and then, so I'm going to assume that that's true until told otherwise. I do think that's the most likely outcome, even though that's not exciting to me per se. I do think that's the most likely outcome, that James Gunn is just kind of letting Matt Reeves play. Okay,
I'm good with it.
So be it. Yep,
I'll be there.
It's odd, but
it's Batman.
At the same time, I'm going to go see it and not going to be bothered. I do wonder. Here's be my expectation. Okay, a little bit of a pivot. I think that now that we have more tangible meat on the bone news of, hey, cameras are about to start rolling, our leading man is ready to rock and roll, I think we're within weeks of hearing about who the DCU's Batman is going to be.
Oh, you think it's soon?
I do. I think James Gunn knows who it's going to be, and I think he's been trying to, again, just be respectful of Matt Reeves and give him his space. I think it's sooner than later. And it, frankly, should be sooner rather than later.
Do you think it's Sean Gunn?
Plot twist, sir.
He casted his brother again.
Wow. Yeah. Sean, so I know you cameoed as Maxwell Lord, but I got a new role for you. Bruce Wayne. I can imagine.
I think of Guardians 3.
Yeah.
No offense.
Yeah, not the right fit there. But it's
we
my
like
hot take. And ready to be wrong, will likely be wrong. But what do you think about that?
I'm good with it. I think sooner rather than later. I hope they stick with the younger route. I know he talked about older, and at this point, we're just going to get what we get. Mm-hmm. But I'd like him to be around the same age as Superman.
Yeah.
So we can get that duo for the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. I don't want an older Batman who we get for 5 years and then we have to switch out.
Yep.
So I would prefer, I do think Pattinson's great option for that. I know he's on the younger side, but then again, how old is Cornsweat? Like my age?
Yeah.
In mid to late 20s?
They're both relatively young. Like Pattinson's not the youngest, but he is far.
Well, and everybody
far from the
ages
oldest.
like fine wine now
Correct.
compared to
Correct.
years ago.
When they actually age.
No offense, old people.
Yeah. Now everybody just has found the Paul Rudd elixir and is just guzzling it down.
Oh yeah, whatever Paul Rudd found, he's sharing his information.
Yep.
He needs to share it with me as well.
That's probably why he's so wealthy. He's just like selling the stuff to people. That's smart.
Low key, yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I bet it's worth millions.
Smart. Super smart.
So I'm good with it. Like I said, I want a Batman on the younger side. I do not want another, and this now shot at Ben Affleck. Okay, he was not my cup of tea for Batman. However, I don't want the Frank Miller Batman.
Yeah.
Now's not the time.
Yep.
If you want to age him out into that, that's fantastic. Do that. But I don't want that right now.
Yep.
So
For sure.
And I'm hoping they stick with that with Wonder Woman as well.
Yeah. I do think it's all the more likely now that the first time we see Batman won't be in a Batman titled movie, because the timeline is such that, again, I think James Gunn wants to get his Batman into the DCU and at the same time thread the needle of letting Matt Reeves have his Batman movie. And I think the only way for those two things to occur simultaneously is to first introduce the Batman character in a non-Batman titled film so that you can, I don't know if it's going to work. They're going to do it, but I don't know how effective it will be. It still feels to me like, man, one of these two is gonna lose.
To me, it needs to be Clayface. I'm sorry. You have to have Batman. The more and more I think about that movie, I think that's the perfect time to introduce your Batman.
Yeah.
Look, you want the focus to be on Clayface. That's great.
Yeah.
But I would love the ever-looming presence of Batman.
Sure.
Right? You know, we just get a nod. We don't even see his face. It's just a shot from the cowl and him talking to Gordon about what's going on. And then he just disappears. And then you don't see him until like the final 5 to 10 minutes. And he's trying to reason with Clayface and be like, hey, this is not the route. This is not the path you should be taking. You know, you made a claim. I'm on it. Even you. But that's what we need. We need the, because I don't see how Clayface ends up in Arkham or in prison at the end of that movie.
Right.
Without Batman.
Yep.
I just don't see it.
Yep.
This is the perfect time. I would love to see the full, like, literally save that reveal for the last 10 minutes. Don't show it in any of the trailers. You can show the bat signal. That would be sick. But that's kind of what I want. It would be almost like it'd be like an episode from the Batman the Animated Series, except from the perspective of the villain. Yeah. Kind of like with the Penguin too, where you had that ever-looming presence of Batman around, but you never see him.
Right.
But you know that the pressure of Batman is there.
Yep.
That's what I want for this. I think that's just, you have to have Batman. So I would assume soon, hopefully. Yeah. I would also love it if it was Lock and Key and he shows up in Clayface and nobody knew it until after the movie.
I think that's most likely. Yeah, because it gives Matt Reeves and his team as much time as possible to dominate the dominate the PR. So it's there's no way this doesn't have its awkward moments. But I understand. I think I understand the approach, even if I don't. Even if I'm not super excited about it.
That's all.
Okay, on the Batman 2 front, we also had another little rabbit trail of Penguin Season 2. Now, before we get into Penguin Season 2, we have to highlight Kristen Milioti won the Emmy for lead actress in limited series.
You go, girl.
Boy, did she deserve that.
Oh, she nailed that.
Holy smokes. Yep. And I did not see the other actresses in their works. I'm sure they were great, but what we saw of Kristen was special. And so all the flowers to her for her performance. And obviously it's a really, it's one of those lifelong rest of her professional career. She gets to go along with the tag of Emmy winner. And that's no small thing. So big credit to her. She will not be, Matt Reeves said, her character will not be in any of the Batman 2. He said that the script was too far along, that by the time that her performance was kind of coming to fruition, he said it just would have been forced. Awkward and forced. Yep.
Fine with me.
Yep. So Makes sense. And we will, along with that, likely be seeing a Penguin season 2. So as it has gained fresh momentum thanks to the Emmy season, or sorry, the Emmy Awards, that was the lone award won for the show out of its myriad nominations. But just to be recognized and nominated for so many different categories, I think was a reminder of, holy smokes, this was really good. It's been a while since it came out now, very early in 2025. But it's going to be pretty hard for the folks at Warner Brothers and HBO to go, why wouldn't we hash that in? So there will be a season 2. It's just more a matter of when, but it does sound like it's getting closer and closer to getting the go ahead. I would guess a big part of it is just trying to get Colin Farrell on board with wearing a fat suit again.
True.
Truly. Like, that physically sounded tough. So you got to get him excited. It probably just means adding another 0 to the check. Like, Colin, you in? All right. Now.
Well, I just like the Penguin show from the aspect of it's a way to highlight the crime families in Gotham.
Yep.
Without needing Batman to do it.
Yep.
So it just continuously builds that part of Gotham up.
Right.
And you can still see why Gotham is as corrupt as it is.
Yep.
And then when you go see Batman 2 or you go see Batman 3, you're like, oh, that guy, he works for this mob boss, right? Or he works for the Penguin, blah, blah, blah. And you can just see how deep the corruption goes. So and because the gangs get highlighted in Batman, but they're not like focal points all the time.
Yeah.
Not as much as, your big guns. So it's nice to have that already built up. So when you want to pull the trigger, you can.
Yeah, for sure. So it would be exciting, of course, to see a second season of The Penguin. I think there's plenty of story to continue to tell. That maybe the biggest question at that point is, all right, you've got Cobb, you've got Sophia Falcone. Who else are you going to bring into the fold for that next season as well as a fresh presence of sorts? So to be determined. Plenty of time, of course, between now and then, but I'm sure we'll get there. So anything else on Batman 2 or Penguin season 2?
I'm good.
Yeah. All right, pivoting to the Marvel side, not to be outdone and unheard from, the good folks over at Marvel dropped an official design for Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom. And obviously this is an audio medium, but let me just tell you, it's really easy to know what it looks like. Just Google Dr. Doom from the comics, and that's what you're looking at. And that is all the praise I can possibly toss at it, because it looks tremendous. It looks exactly like what you would want Dr. Doom to look like. He's got the chainmail underneath the very heavy duty metal gauntlets, rings around his arms. The face mask looks as scowly and imposing as it possibly could.
It's perfect, and it's not
great.
cheesy.
Yeah.
Cheesy is always what I'm worried about.
How so with Dr. Doom? Tell me more.
Think about the older Dr. Dooms, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me just...
But I would say those older versions, if you're talking from like the original Fantastic Four movies, they didn't lean into the comic design enough. They just stayed kind of in their own lane. They're like, no, we can come up with a really neat version. And the comic version is tremendous. You don't need to dip around. Just lean into the comics version of the design, as they seem to have done here in Doomsday, and you're going to be in great shape.
Yeah.
Great shape.
The first one is not like too bad, but they kind of lean into like the Anthony Hopkins mask from Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then don't even get me started about the monstrosity from the second iteration of the Fantastic Four. What is that?
That's stupid.
That's horrible.
Nope.
So to see this...
It's just a lack of security in what you have. Like, truly, it's one of the coolest looking characters in comics.
Yeah,
one of the coolest looking characters in comics. Just use him exactly as he is, and it won't look cheesy. It'll look freaking sweet. Just lean in. Silliness.
Hey, we're getting it.
Silliness.
Supposedly.
We're getting it. Yep.
Supposedly.
We're getting it.
So I was telling him too, I was like, imagine if that wasn't actually RDJ underneath that mask.
Right.
It'd be sick.
Yep.
No offense to RDJ, but I'm really, really not wanting him to be Doom for too long. So
very much where we are.
But no, it's a beautiful costume, beautiful looking armor. I'm excited to see it actually in play, and maybe he'll rip the spine out of Doctor Doom. I hope we get to watch him pull the spine out of Thanos or somebody else big. Maybe Kang. Right. Maybe they bring back Kang for a one-off kill. It'd be hilarious. Hey, it's Jonathan May. Oh.
That sounds about right, actually. That sounds like something that's...
I'm in control of time now.
Right. That sounds like something we would see.
All hail Doom.
Annihilates all the Kangs, or Loki, the god of stories. Yeah, I don't know.
Honestly, how badass would it be, though, if Doom's entrance is him just killing off Kangs left and right? Mm-hmm. That'd be pretty dope.
It would feel really good.
It would feel really awesome.
Everybody would feel really good about seeing that on screen. Like, that's great. That's really cool. More, please.
Well, it would also establish him as like...
And it would accomplish,
the
purpose.
Crap.
All right, this is a unit.
We thought Kang was going to be a scary man.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Yeah, we're on the verge of getting some more press, some more tangible meat on this particular bone. Because we're a little more than a year out, of course, from our dear sweet Doomsday dropping. So it's a matter of time. And I do think we've mentioned this before on the pod. This is where the competition becomes a real thing, right? Where DC now is alive and viable and competing for the attention of the same audience members that have previously been only hanging out with Marvel. And that's an overgeneralization, of course. But I do think the point I'm trying to make is there's a little more fire under the behind of Marvel. And so I do think we're going to get more drops like this sooner rather than later.
Good.
Which only is good for us fans. So anything else on that front?
No.
Your sweet beans.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's great. Well, one thing I wanted to highlight, now that we have officially transitioned to the fall season, because it came out so early in the summer, okay, is what I'm going to call my movie of the summer. Now, we had Superman. It was great. Fantastic Four was outstanding. But we also had this itty-bitty movie way back in early May known as Thunderbolts. And I just wanted to draw attention to it one more time before we turn the page officially on the summer and just say how unique that was, okay, that we had after some tough sledding on the Marvel side. They managed to take a movie filled with characters whose origins largely were in this most recent phase, the one exception, of course, being Bucky Barnes, but everybody else on that roster, okay, had shown up here in phase 4 and now beyond. And I remain super encouraged, and I haven't watched it since it came out on streaming, but it's on my list of things to do because, dang it, I really enjoyed that movie. Great story, great characters. So just want to give one last shout out to Thunderbolts before we got too far down the road. It can be done. It turns out, and I liked what you said at the time, all those characters had individual voices and, for lack of a better word, flavors. Like they were themselves. They weren't just the same character in a different bodysuit. It was several unique voices, backgrounds, so on and so forth. So
Taskmaster died in like 10 minutes.
Taskmaster died almost immediately. It was...
And that's why it's my movie of the year. No, it was surprisingly good. And I remember coming out of Captain America 4 being nervous for this movie.
Yes.
Because Captain America 4 was like, we can do the serious tone. You guys have been talking about the serious tone. Let's do it. And they went too far left. Yep. And Thunderbolts brought it back to the right degree. And it pulled at all the right heartstrings. It was a good... It was just solid. It was a solid edition.
Such a worthwhile story. So looking forward to rewatching it again, but just wanted to draw one more highlight back to Thunderbolts. Okay. Beans.
It's time.
It's time.
Is it time? It's time. This is going to be a lengthy top 5, so this is good. It's good that we have the time for this.
It's time for another classic, JP and the Beans top 5. Now, believe it or not, We are at episode, I think, 112. And we have done a top 5 every single episode. Is it 113?
No, you were right on the episode
112?
number.
Okay.
We have not done a top 5 for every episode.
Almost every episode. Yeah.
Probably
Almost every episode.
like year 2.
Almost every episode. Humor me. Pretend I'm right. Let me be right here.
Okay, you're
What we
right.
said about true but unhelpful statements?
I'm just saying, I looked at the thing. I think we have 63 or 64. So,
Okay, that's pretty good.
so we're about 50%.
Since the truth is whatever we want it to be. Okay, fair. We've had a lot of top 5s at the point. However, somehow,
I'm being an anus.
not at all. Somehow, in some way, we have never done a top 5 villains.
No, we haven't.
List. Remarkably enough, we have covered a myriad of topics in the top 5 realm, each one deeply entertaining and truly enjoyable to cultivate said list. But something as straightforward as, hey, how about those villains we haven't touched yet? So I'm excited to get into it. I'm sure that we're going to get done with revealing our list, and I'm going to go, ow, yeah, that guy or gal. Totally forgot. Because there are so many quality villains out there. But without further ado and without further context, it is time for the top 5 villains from JP and the Beans. Beans, you go first.
I'm going to get a lot of heat for this. Being at 5.
Excellent.
I'm going to get a lot of heat. It's
Excellent.
probably going to be from you because it's probably your number 1.
Okay.
I have the Joker at 5.
Now we're done.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's heat. Look, I literally put him on here as like a nod to the guy.
Yeah.
Here is why he's at 5 for me. I feel like we've gotten him too much. I feel like we have oversaturated the Joker market. I would like to dial it back. We have gotten a solo movie on this guy. Why? Why on God's green earth?
Sure.
Right? Every comic book run with Batman eventually goes back to the Joker, and I get that too. It's just, with Batman's Rogues Gallery, how extensive and how amazing that Rogues Gallery is.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but we should not be highlighting the Joker all the time with that in-depth Rogues Gallery. It just shouldn't happen.
Sure.
You have Mr. Freeze. You have Clayface. I will even go as far to say, as a Man-Bat, could be very interesting with more screen time.
Yep.
All right?
Yep.
I am just...
Two-Face.
But even if you think about it from a comic book standpoint, the Batman Who Laughs is just a combination of the two.
Correct.
And then he goes on, in the second iteration of the Batman Who Laughs, where he Jokerizes a bunch of other people. It's just like, look, why? Why do we...
You're a little full.
I'm full.
A little full, not a sad.
Again, he's great. He's iconic. He has had the best villain moments in Batman's career. You look at The Killing Joke, you look at Death in the Family, just to name a couple. I get it. That's why he's on the list.
Yep.
But I am tired. That's why I don't want the Joker to be in Matt Reeves' Batman. I don't. I know we have Barry Keoghan in there.
Yep.
Right? I don't need to see him.
Right.
If you're gonna pull him in like 3rd or 5th. I really just there's so many other cool characters I want to see highlighted.
Yeah.
And the Joker just takes that time away. So that's why he's at number 5 for me.
Totally understand.
He made the list. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Not my number 1.
Yep. Totally fair. Totally understand where you're coming from.
And I will say this too. If I had to make like a Mount Rushmore, he would be on the Mount Rushmore for how iconic he is as a villain. This is my personal. So I have the Joker at 5.
We've always said with these top 5s, these are our top 5s, personal preference. So we're not trying to rank what we think everybody's bests should be.
This is who we've. You'll be writing me death notes tomorrow. It's okay.
Oh, I won't wait till tomorrow.
Fair.
No. For me, how I chose to approach this list was I wanted it to be some combination of the comics and movies or TV shows.
That's fair.
So didn't want to draw from just one or the other. So because of that, for me, Thanos is my number 5. I think he was a tremendous villain, primarily because by the time he was allowed to be present, he had been teased for movie after movie. But by the time we got Thanos on the screen, he was the most formidable villain that we had yet seen in the MCU from the word go. and I think of how well they did at establishing the just strength of his character to go toe to toe with the Hulk and just thrash him right out of the gate was well, that sets the bar pretty dang high for what this particular villain can bring after we had just seen the Hulk wreck everybody in Thor Ragnarok. And so that they did such a great job of not rushing with that character. And here's one of the most critical parts. This will be a common theme for me in my list. They made him relatable. That's hard to do at times with villains, but they made his quest to bring balance to the universe understandable and just empathetic enough for you to go, I get it. Boy, still please don't do it. Still not the right choice, but we can at least understand where he's coming from. So it's hard to make a entirely CGI character work, but in the movies, they did a heck of a job. And obviously, in the comics, the dude is a unit in his own right as well. I do think the movies have done him better, though, than the comics, quite frankly. The comics have had some nice moments, but I don't even think it's a question that the movies have done Thanos the highest honor in terms of his just sheer power. So that's my number 5, Thanos. My number 4 is Magneto. This is largely, again, due to the portrayals that we got in the movies.
And he's at 4 with those portrayals?
He's at 4. He is terrific. Whether it's Sir Ian McKellen or our guy Michael Fassbender. Those were 2 tremendous portrayals at 2 different stages of Magneto's life. And just like with Thanos, the ability for each of those gentlemen to portray Magneto as a relatable and empathetic villain was absolutely terrific. And he has been done so well in the comics in that regard. I think of particularly the House of M storyline where Magneto feels as though he has deeply failed his children. Like he's just this unique blend of very selfish, very narrow-minded person, and yet there are times where he unveils a little more humanity than you thought he had hiding in that little cupboard heart of his. And his partnership at different times with Charles Xavier and their friendship, boy, that collaboration just teases what could be with Magneto. But he consistently comes back to, and this is where he gets most relatable, what he thinks is right. Problem is, what he thinks is right often is, well, we're going to kill a bunch of people. It's like, well, you're so close, bud. You're so close. Good at it, though. And he is also really effective. And just that ability to manipulate metal. He has some of the coolest scenes in movie villains.
Some of the coolest kills.
100%. Like where he draws the granular metal out of the security guard. Like,
how about the quarter through the head?
Yep. Pretty tough to beat that as well. So a lot of great on-screen and on-the-page moments with Magneto. He is my number 4. Over to you, Beans.
My number 4. Mm-hmm. I have a Roku Saki. And who's that? I have the Shredder.
Yes.
Because nothing is more intimidating than the Shredder. Look, this dude's vendetta against the Turtles is awesome, right? His dynamic with Splinter, killing Splinter's master in the name of love, and then deciding to come all the way over to New York and just create an army of ninjas to take over New York is hilarious to me.
Indeed.
Some of the coolest fights I've actually seen is always between Leonardo and Shredder. Mm-hmm. When those two go at it solo, get out of Leo's way. That's all I gotta say to that. So
the coolest designs in all of comics and movies. Like his suit is just incredible.
Well, and that's the thing too. He has found a way where you can't kick him because your foot will be sliced to crap.
Shredded. It'll be shredded.
He's got the Wolverine claws without the
extensions.
Right. Yep. They're just out there.
Right.
And probably doesn't hurt every time he pulls them, but it's the Shredder. And he is a great martial artist. Mm-hmm. So I got the Shredder at 4.
I love that. It's a great number 4. Your number 3, sir.
Number 3, this is going to be very fitting because this reflects my number 3 from last week, except we're just going to solo in on the guy who's in charge of it. I have Apocalypse at number 3.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
When he takes over in Age of Apocalypse, holy crap, is that just a terrible place to live? It is a horrible, horrible place to live. Wolverine loses a hand. You've got Cyclops, that's actually a bad guy now in that universe. Sabretooth is somehow a good guy. You flip-flop.
Yep.
Magneto ends up with Rogue. We can keep going down the weird rabbit hole that is Age of Apocalypse. But there is not one time where they're like, oh, we can mess with this guy. Everybody,
not messable.
Not a single person wants to mess
nor should they
with Apocalypse.
Nope.
And you've seen he's immortal every time he gets on the screen with the X-Men outside of that terrible, terrible movie. He does work.
Yeah. I always thought one of the just greatest elements of Apocalypse is the ability to share or bestow powers on his acolytes.
That's so cool.
Right? Like that's such a neat and rare ability that you don't get in too many heroes or villain, quite frankly. And that is such a huge draw of the character, both for why other, let's just say, characters that are on the fence about, man, do we partner with this guy? Do we battle this guy? Well, when the guy that you're thinking about fighting goes, if you join my side, I'm going to give you a level up, and it's genuine and it's not going anywhere. Yep, I get it. That makes sense why other characters would be drawn to that. And so I think he just uniquely, Magneto, but he's uniquely magnetic in that way.
And the last thing that I'll say, I love his motivations because when it comes to the X-Men, they are wanting peace between humans and mutants.
Yep. You
have Magneto, who on his side, it's mutants over everybody else. Yep. You go to the humans and the Sentinels, it's humans versus everyone else.
Yep.
Apocalypse doesn't care if you're a mutant or not. It's survival of the fittest. So if you are able to handle the power that he can give you, you have every right to live. But if you're weak, goodbye.
Yep.
Does not care about you whatsoever.
No.
And I love that it gives like this third kind of aspect to these X-Men villains where it's not either or side of the spectrum. In a sense, he's like, yeah, I agree. We should be all living in harmony, but not the weak people. The weak people suck. Let's kill all the weak people. And then the strong, because then we can repopulate with more strong. And essentially, we're just going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yep.
So Apocalypse is my number 3.
That's a great pick for number 3. My number 3 is someone who doesn't share power very well. It's my guy, Sinestro. Sinestro, this is entirely based on the comics portrayal of the character because we have yet to see an on-screen portrayal that does this character justice. Maybe we'll get it in Lanterns here in the next several months. We'll see. But Sinestro in the comics is such an outstanding villain. He goes from Green Lantern to Yellow Lantern to the point where he's building out his own Yellow Lantern Corps. And again, for the simple reason of he thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks the Green Lanterns, and in particular, the Guardians that are behind the Green Lantern's power are absolute farces. He thinks he has seen enough of the universe to realize that you know what the universe actually needs? It doesn't need willpower to keep it in its lane. It needs fear. Fear is the most effective way to protect the universe. So again, he's not out there terrorizing for the sake of terrorism, although he does employ quite a few terrorist-like people and creatures in his Yellow Lantern Corps, but he is doing all of it to what he believes is the ultimate good goal of controlling the universe and keeping it from imploding due to the very real evil that's within. Like many villains, he's blind to his own evil, which, hi, narcissist, my name is Sinestro. That's just
aren't they always narcissists?
But I tell you what, the Sinestro Corps War is one of the best comics, period, that I've ever read. Obviously, as the title would suggest, it's based heavily on the actions of Sinestro, but then even that was pre-New 52 for the DC Comics line. Once they got into the New 52, Sinestro still had a lot of opportunities to flex, and in particular in that Green Lantern storyline with Hal Jordan, the back and forth between those two characters is very satisfying and tremendous. So Sinestro is my number 3. My number 2, Kingpin.
Good call.
I felt really good about this one. Combination here, the on-screen portrayal by Vincent D'Onofrio has been elite. Absolutely exquisite, to the point where I truly can't imagine anyone else portraying
I can't.
Wilson Fisk. Just can't. Will it happen someday? Of course it will. But right now, Vincent D'Onofrio, like, that's my Kingpin right there. He is ripped straight out of the comics when you see him on the screen, and he is that not very well buttoned up Rage, right? Who is trying to hide in plain sight while at the same time just letting the rage out in the shadows, and then trying to keep the shadows from propping up into the daylight. No, get back down to the shadows. Part of what makes the Kingpin such a phenomenal villain, though, is the unique nature of his relationship with his greatest adversary, and that is Matt Murdock, Daredevil. They are both uniquely intimate in terms of their knowledge of each other, of each other's past, of each other's motives, of each other's present and desires for the future. And they formulate this unique partnership in the comics to where they essentially agree that they will always be in battle with one another, and yet they do not seek. They have, it's like this feudal Japan kind of code where there's a line that they know where it is, and they're not going to cross it with each other. And it just creates such phenomenal tension, because as soon as other characters in their world become aware of the line, all the other characters are going, well, I'm crossing the line. And then it just forces clash and conflict with Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock. So the comics run by Brian Michael Bendis on Daredevil has obviously a lot of great Daredevil moments. It allows Kingpin to do some great work as well. And of course, the Daredevil television show with our guy, Vincent D'Onofrio, has been nothing short of magnificent for the character. So great character. Looking forward to seeing him have a chance to flex against some other heroes. Right? Hello, Spider-Man. Because turns out he's a great Spider-Man villain, too. So Vincent D'Onofrio.
That'd be perfect.
Can't wait to see him more, my man. Kingpin is my number 2.
All right. My number 2, I have Magneto.
There you go.
Magneto's easily my number 2. The dude is phenomenal. Every time you see Magneto, you're like, oh, crap. This is not going to go.
How does that helmet work? It shouldn't work that well. It does.
That has evolved surprisingly well.
Yes.
When you see it on the movies, you're like, oh, this is the potential to be really corny. And it isn't. I think about the Juggernaut helmet as well being corny.
Yep.
Possibly. It worked in Deadpool 2. It did not work in X-Men 3. Yep. Okay? It did not. It looked like a... we're not even going to focus on that. Anywho. Hey, back on Magneto. For all the reasons you said, the amazing kills, I think what shoots him up for me especially, and no shot to Ian McKellen, Michael Fassbender as Magneto, he could play Magneto till the end of time. I am serious when I say this. Marvel, do not recast Magneto. Let Michael Fassbender stay as that character, because as far as I'm concerned, he is the best version of Magneto we've had. But he can play that until he's old and gray. No one's going to care.
He'll hang out for a while. He'll be fine.
So there's just something, again, Magneto in his own mind is not an evil person. He's even tried to come up with ways to get the mutants out with peace. But when Magneto's hand is pushed, that's when you're like, oh no.
When he goes, he goes.
Correct. That man survived the Holocaust. All right. He has seen evil face to face. You wonder why he is the way he is? Lived through one of the worst time periods ever. So, Magneto's awesome. That's all I got to say. Sweet stuff that he can do.
He's phenomenal.
Omega level mutant.
Love it.
So that's
number 2. Good number 2. Your number 1, sir.
My number 1 is the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. And it's not close. We talked about with the Joker, and how much pressure he puts on Batman and all the important key points in his career that he had.
Yep.
Green Goblin is the only one that really was able to do that to Peter. Killing Gwen Stacy, don't even get me started on the complicated relationship Harry and Peter have. But just the influence alone that Norman has, to the point where he has even been able to outgrow just Spider-Man and become an Avengers level threat.
Yep.
Everybody knowing that this guy is not a good guy. But there's something about hearing the laugh and the Goblin Glider come out of nowhere. You're like, oh no. Because whenever Green Goblin gets on the screen, there is a good chance someone's going to die. And you don't always have that threat looming with Spider-Man villains, right? Rhino's there to destroy property. Doc Ock is there to beat Spider-Man more on the intellectual side than the physicality side. And he just wants to one-up Spider-Man. Green Goblin is out there to just ruin Peter's life. And especially when Norman figures out that Peter is Spider-Man, get out of the way, man. And so for me, it's just, and we talk about Willem Dafoe. I'm going to ignore the Amazing Spider-Man, Green Goblin. And I'm going to ignore James Franco's Spider-Man. Let's look at Willem Dafoe. The way that he handled the split personality, the duality there. He did it again in No Way Home. They brought him back, and guess what? That man did not skip a beat. And his turn into the madness is almost just as sad as with Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2, but it gets overshadowed by that. He was a good man. That made some mistakes. And because him and Peter before all that had a great relationship, almost better than him and his own son. So to see that downfall even with Norman is just, it's depressing to watch. So, and then we're even going into the video games for Spider-Man now that Norman's going to be the big bad in Spider-Man 3 for PS5 or PS6, whenever that comes out, and just Norman's influence there as well. So, there's just something about a rich guy that goes crazy that, it's
draws the people in.
That's literally the only difference one of the big differences between him and the Joker is he's got the financial resources to do whatever he wants. So I got Green Goblin at number 1.
It's a great number 1. It is, especially upon reflection, pretty wild that character and the Norman Osborn iteration, which is the Green Goblin, as far as I'm concerned, has had only Willem Dafoe to portray him well so far in a live action.
Yeah, because even the Green Goblin in Amazing Spider-Man was Harry. So we've only got one Norman, and it was a great Norman Osborn. And here's my only thing. If we get Norman back, first of all, I think he should come back in this next Spider-Man trilogy. I do not want him as Green Goblin right away. Build that. Build the crap out of that.
Take your time.
And for the love of God, as much as I love the Green Goblin armor and how sick that looks, I want a classic look. Give me the purple hat and the crazy laughter.
Integrate Integrate the goofiness. Like, it worked for the Raimi version at the time. It's like, fine. It worked for that specific character in that specific way, but you 100% need to lean into the comic accuracy of.
And I know how terrifying the Ultimate Universe's version of Green Goblin is, where he's pretty much just a giant gargoyle. I don't want that either. I want classic
that's
Green Goblin,
to the cartoon,
the laughing. Look, you know how creepy and intimidating that mask will look if they do it right. You can do the facial expressions. I know that's what they were worried about with Norman and the original Spider-Man movie. I get that back then. We are at a time now where you can pull that off without any issues.
You don't need the still mask.
I'm pumped. But that's my number 1 is Green Goblin.
I love that. It's a great number 1. And you're right. My number 1 is the Joker. And I totally understand where you're coming from. And I don't disagree with the saturation argument at all. It's true. And for me, Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight, there may be performances at some point that'll like hit that similar level in terms of their villainy. Hasn't happened yet, in my opinion. It's not a layup. It's not automatic. That is a difficult role to execute at such a high level. And so that portrayal is still at the very top in terms of movies. The comics, he's such a uniquely challenging opponent. And has he been overused? Totally agree. I thought about putting the Batman Who Laughs on my list somewhere, but the truth is he's essentially a variant of Joker. Like he's a blend between what would happen if Bruce Wayne and the Joker got blended together. Okay, cool, very cool concept. Works great. Works really well with Batman and the Joker getting blended in the comics. It's another great villain, but you don't get there without the Joker. You just don't. There are, and you mentioned them already, a long list of comic stories where the Joker has been exceptionally forceful. I don't think anybody but Scott Snyder did him better in the New 52. That portrayal of the Joker was, and this isn't pleasant, but he's sadistic, he's clever, and in no small way, he is outsmarting Batman time and time again, and somehow Batman consistently underestimates him in a weird way because he doesn't want to fully embrace how truly terrifying and imposing the Joker really is. So you have this unique dynamic where Bruce Wayne is going, no, there's no way he can do that. There's just no way. And he does. The Joker does pretty consistently. So for me, the Joker is number one. Total personal preference there. But as you said earlier, I agree. There's a lot of great Batman villains out there. It does not need to just be the Joker. And I think Batman comics since that time have done a better job of emphasizing other villains in that rogues gallery, which has been refreshing. It's never going to get away from the Joker entirely, of course. But that's my number one.
Well, and one thing I just want to add to, I'm blanking now, to Dark Knight, Heath Ledger. There we go. Yep. The one thing I want to really key in with Heath, that he did such a good job with the Joker, is he understood that the Joker is controlled chaos.
Yes.
We don't see the control part. We think it's all chaos. Yeah. But every little bit and piece, if you watch that movie, Joker knows what he's doing 100% of the time. And he makes everybody else think that he's just a psychopath. And he is, but
he plays into it. He insists that he's not in control or doesn't have a plan, but he does.
Correct. And like, I just watched one of the clips recently from when Batman's just charging at him with the motorcycle. And Joker's like, come on, do it. Do it. There is a part there where Joker's like ready to get out of the way if he's not going to do it. But he knows Batman is going to go around him. And I think that's such a key part to the Joker where, no offense to Jared Leto, I think Jared Leto was more, just Joker's bananas. He's just crazy. He doesn't know what he's doing. And even if you look at Mark Hamill's performance with voice acting, I think he also understood that too, is the Joker is controlled chaos. There's always another plan for why he's doing what he's doing. And that just brings him up another notch. It's not when the Joker hits and has a plan, it's not to just be crazy for the sake of crazy. He's testing the Batman, whether it's I can get you to pull the trigger.
He's a psychotic contrarian where he's taking whatever anybody else says that they are, and he's taking it as a challenge of, I bet I can get you. I'll bet I can get you to turn entirely away from what you say that you are. He's just an extreme version of that personified, but he's also wickedly clever. He is, and you said it best, he's controlled. He's not just a loose fire that's burning everything up. He is directing all of that heat very intentionally and often in the shape of chaos, but controlled chaos nonetheless.
And when he does lose control, good night. Because it has happened. and you just want to get out of the way of that. But
Yeah.
for the most part, he knows what he's doing. And I think whoever, maybe Barry Keoghan, because I heard, his performance to get that role was phenomenal.
Yep.
I'm hoping if it's him or if it's in the DCU, whoever takes on that role.
Because it'll happen. Yeah,
somebody will. And good luck, because that is a hard role to have. Okay. That's what I hope they focus in on, is what Heath did so well, is just the controlled chaos.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
totally agree. Well said, sir. That's a great top 5, Beans.
Yeah.
What a bunch of fantastic villains.
We nailed it.
Crushed it, per usual. Anything else for the good people?
That's it. Yeah. We're right.
That's great.
They're wrong if they don't agree. So that's where I'm at.
You can understand how we relate to some of these villains all of a sudden. That's great. Well done, sir. Take us home, Beans.
Yeah. On that note, Godspeed.
Peace.